Namaskar. My name is Pratibha Phadke Gupta, and I am from Dayton, Ohio, USA. It's my great honor and privilege to be representing Bollywood International Film Festival, the beautiful show called Let's Talk. And I'm so thankful for Bollywood Festival, International Film Festival, for hosting this wonderful show. And my great honor to represent Bollywood International Film Festival because the two exciting people, Yashpal Sharma ji and Pratibha Suman Sharma ji, who are the pioneers in this show and also in Bollywood International Film Festival. And the great opportunity for all the artists around the world to be connected with Bollywood International Film Festival. You know how? How you can be connected with them. You should go to website Bollywood International Film Festival Mumbai and also send your entries if you are an art person, if you are a director, music composer, or you have made some movies, short movies, documentary movies, animation movies, mobile movies, or any type of movies that you have, you can send it to Bollywood International Film Festival for their competition. You never know, you might be the next winner, right? So please go there, and I'm sure it is well known that Bollywood International Film Festival is in the fourth year, started in 2020, and now today it's worldwide. It's just very popular around the world, and I'm so thankful for Deva Sharma ji and Pratibha Suman ji. Today's Let's Talk is very special for us, and I'm sure you probably have heard of that. Um, I'm going to be introducing a very renowned person, and his name is Mr. Nagnath Mankeshwar ji. And I'm sure he probably is destined to be a multifaceted person. And he is not only an artist, but he's a film animation director and a sitarist also, and he is in Mumbai. And as a film animation director and the team, his production had won a very renowned national award. And his director in a directorial biopic film on Sitar Master Padma Bhushan, Ustad Abdul Halim Jafar Khan, who received wide acclaim and recognition. And I'm sure you probably have heard of Nagnath Mankeshwar ji as a sitar player. And he plays both raga music and, and the lighter genre music. And his music is delighted to the hardcore of a lot of people around the world. And he was, also being a sitarist is also a artist and a drawing, painting, and since childhood. And I'm going to be getting with him very soon. And also his all those collections of his raga and music, and his love for jazz and the forms of music is basically very important. So let's go welcome our person called Nagnath Mankeshwar ji. Welcome. Hello, namaskar Nagnath Mankeshwar ji.
Namaste, Pratibha ji. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening, and
welcome to
namaste
Bollywood
to all the audience.
International, yes, Bollywood International Film Festivals. Let's talk, and we are very honored to have you here. And I'm sure all the audience who are here at this time will be very delighted to see you and in our show. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
being
much.
there. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
being
much. Thank you to all the audience, and warm welcome to all of them to this
there.
show.
And of course, and see, I'm sure you probably all know, and I'm sure our audience knows that very well. Is that music creates such a great connections, humanly connections with people around the world, and I think music has no words. So I'm going to ask you these questions. I think it is not a question, but basically your journey of being a musician and sitarist, by the way. So can you explain to me about your journey to our audience of Bollywood International Film Festival? Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's been a great journey of meaning it's been a very introverted journey, very intrinsic journey for me. Uh, Generally speaking, the whole music thing comes from my mother's place, from my mother's background. My mother was a very big lover of classical music, and she had learned also a little bit in her days. And my maternal uncles, they are like huge lovers of classical music. So music was always happening in our house.
Okay.
And, those were the days. Like I'm a 70s kid, so radio was like on all the time. So I'd been listening, but I was not into music, as in learning music in my younger days. That's for sure. It all happened when I came to Bombay, in fact. And my friend used to live in a place in a small apartment where he used to teach tabla, and there was sitar also. So whenever I used to be free, I used to go and just hold it a little bit. It felt like a such a grand instrument, just to be able to hold it. And somehow I felt that if I ever get to stage where I want to learn some music, it should be a sitar. It came very from the very heart. And but those were very busy days for me. I was a full-time creative director for a company. I was meaning as an animator, as a animation director, whatever. So those advertising days are like very hectic. And I had started making my own films at that time. We had a complete studio full of audio and video equipment. So, and my boss had allowed me to take the camera out and take the audio equipment out. So I had already started filming this small biopic film on Ustad Abdul Halim Jafar Khan Saab, and it was received quite well. Now, that gave me, because he was a sitarist, it gave me more of a connection with that particular instrument. It was a
Okay.
coincidence. And my next subject, I said, I'll make a even like a bigger film in terms of length, and take another maybe sitarist or something, and make another film. So I was ready with my next script. And that is how I came to meet my teacher, my
Wow.
teacher Ustad uh, Siraj Khan Saab. And I had started researching his gharana. We are from Mewati gharana, so I was kind of very intrigued by his style of music and his guru Ustad Rais Khan Saab's music. And it was a deeper connection this time. It was something that I thought maybe I should be learning this particular branch of music. And when I started asking him questions, and I said, "This is the film I want to make," he said, "You are asking very good quality questions, regarding the music and the whole school of music and all that. Maybe you should learn a little." Now, my thing was that I said I'm too busy work-wise. I don't think I'll be able to manage all the practice and riyas and everything. But he said, let's see, how time goes. Maybe you can pick it up a little bit and maybe spend a little more time. And that's how things happen. And I got hooked onto it. And soon, we were discussing music much more. And he is such a dedicated teacher that I found myself, warming up to the instrument. It's a tough instrument to master. And obviously, you need a lot of patience, and you need to
Wow.
spend a lot of time with it. So I obviously I'm still a student. It's the best way to describe oneself, because it's music is a never-ending subject. And ragdari music, or Hindustani classical music basically, it's such a beautiful, deep, never-ending subject that you just keep on swimming and keep on
Wow.
going with.
Wow. So by looking at you, I can tell you that you're a very patient person. And, I think music makes us more patient and more, characteristics person, of course. So I have
Yeah.
this question too. I'm sure you probably have, like, you made this, directorial and biopic film on Sitar Maestro, Padma Bhushan Ustad Abdul Halim Zafar Khan ji. And I'm sure
Yeah.
you probably had got a lot of recognitions based on that. But I need to, just for the purpose of knowing, I mean, of course, myself will be very, very delighted to know that, and also the audience of Bollywood International Film Festival audience would as definitely will achieve some information. So as a sitar player, you play both like a raga music and also the light genre music. So can you just share a light between these two differences about, and can you show some examples of, by just giving some examples towards the difference between the raga music and the light genre music?
See, any classical music student will end up learning rags from his teacher, whether he wants to or she wants to be at a elementary level, or he, they want to make a career out of it and want to go deeper into it and all that. But it always is about a rag, because that is the structure that you learn when you say you're learning music and classical music. You will end up learning some structure, some raga structure. So rag is basically a structured melody, and there are many rags. So each rag obviously has its own set of notes, and you have to stick within those notes and be able to um, improvise and all that. Now that comes gradually as you keep learning. So then there is also when you spend more time with it, and as time goes by, you might as an artist, if you are intrinsically inclined towards that sort of music, then you'll end up having certain likes, as in terms of, I like this rag, maybe I'll not get into that rag, but I do love this and this. Okay, I love Yaman so much that I'm wanting to learn more about it. I like Todi, and so there will be rags which you will get hooked on to. So and even now there are so many interviews, in fact, of all the maestros, and it's been a good thing for us, all students also, all connoisseurs or students or practitioners, that they have said that it's not essential, or it's not going to be possible for you to learn or master like 50 or 100 ragas. It's a lot of material. So everyone has a choice, and they have this connection with maybe 8, 10, or 15 rags, which they kind of uh, practice throughout their lifetime. They try to bring more abstraction, more depth into those chosen rags, and that
Sure.
becomes part of your personality, tabiyat, you can call it in you. So, and the same rags, when you keep hearing them, you keep playing them, voice, either vocal or instrumental, you will find that meaning the same ragas have been used in the Hindi film industry from time immemorial, because they need a tune, they need a melody line, and that has to be somehow, although many, maybe some music directors might even claim that they actually don't know many rags or the intricacies of rags, but inadvertently, whatever the situation is, the melodies in in most many songs, either they are based completely very directly on the rags, very direct, very obvious, like or they have the flavor of that particular rag. But obviously, because film music needs to cater to the non classically inclined type people also, so they might even, but like when you play a rag, for example, you cannot mix notes which are not permitted in that rag. That is not
Okay.
permitted,
Okay. Okay.
right? You have to stick to a rag. If you're
Right.
playing Yaman, you're playing Yaman. If you're playing Charukeshi, you play Charukeshi. You cannot mix notes which are not there in that particular rag. But that is not the case with a Hindi song. They might introduce a note which is not strictly there in the rag, but it is done so beautifully that it actually enhances the beauty of the song.
Wow.
And you
Wow.
don't question that, because after all, the beauty part is the most essential thing. It should touch your heart, it should make you feel good, and not without you end up saying that, oh, this note didn't hit me well. It's not that. And they are such geniuses that so far it has not happened that way, and that's the most beautiful part of a song.
So I have a question for you. Is that I'm sure. I mean, I really so delighted to know this. I myself did not know what you explained to me. Is that So, can you please say any example, just like any songs, film songs in that particular rag that you can give as an example that our audience should know? Because I'm sure many people know about music, but some people might not know. So, can you give any example of any
So,
raga songs that are in films that you can explain a little bit, or maybe you can sing as an example if you are able to?
like there is this beautiful Carnatic rag which I play very often. It's
Uh
called
huh.
Charukeshi.
Mm-hmm.
Charukeshi is a beautiful rag, and Charukeshi has a ample canvas that you can play from the very slow tempo to the faster tempo, and you can present the rag for 30, 40, 50 minutes, even 1 hour or more, depending on the kind of uh, research that you have done, the kind of riyaz you've done, and how much you are able to present. But
Okay.
there are songs based on the same rag, like songs based on Yaman rag or other ragas. Like Charukeshi, if I were to just if let's say if I have to play a small composition, it would be so. This became a composition, a slow composition in Rag Charukeshi, and then you can do your alap and start playing this rag. So you can go on playing like this with
Sure.
the composition and all that. But now there was a song. Guess this song. I'm sure
Ji.
you might be able to guess this beautiful
Sure.
song.
Is that the song?
Yes.
जो हमने दास्ता अपनी सुनाई, आप क्यों रोए. Is that the song?
Yes, that's the song. Now this is based on the same rag,
Okay.
Charukeshi.
So I
Now
guessed the
you
song. So I think our audience could have guessed the song really, really well, right? So, so
so
I'm
so
proud of my
now
skill now.
yeah, so there are the treatment here is going to be like 3 or I think 3.5 minute song or 4 minute song.
Yeah.
Whereas when you take up the same rag and you're going to play the beginning portion, which is without the tabla, which is
Okay.
known as the alap, and from there you start your composition. We also play. There are stages of playing a particular rag for an instrumentalist or especially for a sitarist. A
Mhm.
traditional recital will start with a alap, which is where you like the abstraction of the raga, the badhat, what we call, but it is done without the tabla. Then there is a portion where you speed up a little bit, but the tabla is still not going to be playing with you, which we call the jod, where the nuances of raga are slightly faster and they are in rhythm. So
Okay.
that becomes the second stage. Then you start with a slow composition. Then you go into a medium tempo composition, and you end up with a what we call the jhala or the fastest. Or the whole process now
Uh-huh.
can be 30, 40, 50 minutes, like I said.
Oh wow.
But now the same beautiful rag has been, taken in this song, which is such a beautiful song with such beautiful lyrics. जो
Oh sure.
जो हमने दास्तां अपनी सुना, आप क्यों रोए. So now this even for the uninitiated, you actually heard a beautiful rag. Within 3 minutes, you were able to get the flavor of it.
Yes. Yes.
And then, as your appetite grows, if you get inclined to learn or even listen to classical music, you
Uh-huh.
will be able to hear that same rag for 30 minutes, which is 10
Wow.
times more.
Yes. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you get to hear more abstraction. It's
Absolutely.
not about less beautiful or more beautiful. It's just that you get to hear like a short film and a feature length film.
Certainly. Absolutely. So, Nagnaji, I have a good question. There was a song that is very favorite song of mine actually, and that was done by Salil Chaudhary ji. Okay, Barka Bahar Aayi. The song is that, right? Oh, Barka Bahar Aayi, Akhiyon mein pyar like it. So, do you remember this song particular? I think there was a very,
I
yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
very,
I've heard.
you've
I've
heard a
not
song.
played this. It's a beautiful song, Salil's song.
It's a very good song, yeah. And
Lataji has sung so many, all these memorable, difficult songs. We try to, just be able to connect with some of the songs. Especially Madan Mohanji is my favorite
yes.
composer.
Are you able to play some tunes of this particular song, and or are you able to, I mean, no force on you, but if you're able to, that will be great for our audience to
Like,
understand
see,
that.
there was another song which is again my. I think you can probably.
Identify the song. दिल सोचता है कहीं ये बात नहीं.
जरा सी
Is that,
आहट होती है.
yes, yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
I think
this is
I
kind of
could
based
sense
on
it.
Yam.
Yes.
So this is kind of based on Yaman scale.
Okay.
जरा सी आहट होती है तो दिल सोचता है कहीं ये बोतल तो the whole scale of that particular rag has again been beautifully presented again in a short format song and now the instrumentalist always fails in the lyrics department. Obviously, that is the major difference between a vocalist and an instrumentalist.
So, particular this song, I think I'm just going to give you this example. This song has like the another Mukra and Antara. It said, "Chup ke seene mein चुप के सीने में कोई जैसी सदा देता है." तो जो आलाप बीच में जो था आ करके, how does it connect to like a lyrics and the alap in between? What is the purpose of making that combination and connections?
it the primary purpose is I guess the beauty, the
Okay,
enhancement
okay,
of beauty. it's
okay.
it's always and see those days, in fact, see everywhere, like in those days there were such great singers. There was the great Lataji, Asha Bhosle ji, there was Suman Kalyanpur ji, all Mohammad Rafi ji, So they were all, matlab, it as if felt as if, they could sing it so effortlessly, and the more difficult the song, they still were able to produce magic
Easy.
each and every time.
Certainly.
Now
Absolutely.
that is such a commendable thing. So and even the lyricists were of the best quality. The poetry that was coming out in the 60s and 70s was of the best quality. The singers were great. The instrumental play, musicians accompanying them
Wow.
were fabulous. Like meaning all the who's and who later who became top-notch classical musicians, like the great Pandit Shiv Kumar Sharma ji, Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasiya ji, Ustad Rais Khan Sahab, Zareen Sharma ji. All then there were others who didn't come into the classical field as such, but they were excellent musicians in the percussion department, in the string department, in the wind instrument department. So they were like all who's who, and the music directors to top it all. Now you name them: R.D. Burman Saab, Madan Mohan ji, S.D. Burman ji, Lakshmikant Pyarelal. You go behind, C. Ramchandra ji, Anil Biswas, Salil Da, any and every music director. There was
Wow.
such
That's so good
top
to know. I
quality.
mean, wow. I'm so delighted to know about
So
these things.
imagine they
Yeah.
are all coming together. Now it has to be a masterpiece. And
Absolutely.
yeah, we sing them even today, and we are awed by it even today.
Certainly. And, I think you said a very good point about, everyone you mentioned their names, everybody's
Yes,
style is totally different, unique style. So if you put the name of Madan Mohanji, you will exactly know imaginary what he used to do. Opi Nair Saab, you already know, right? Exactly.
yes,
Kalyanji Anandji, you know already what is their format, what is their style of music. It's basically, because they have created their own styles and they stick to their styles, right? So
yes.
speaking of, before we go to the next sections of your, conversation, I like to thank Bollywood International Film Festival as well, because this show that we are, offering right now, Mr. Nagnath Mankeshwar ji, is that this is called as Bollywood International Film Festival Let's Talk Show,
Right.
and it has been a very very popular worldwide, a famous show. And their creators are Pratibha Suman Sharma ji, who herself is an actor, director, producer, and also singer, as well as a poetess as well. And Yashpal Sharma ji ko to kaun nahi janta. I'm sure you probably know Yashpal Sharma ji has created a very unique movie, which I still have to see that movie. It's called as Dada Lakshmi, and I hope that can come into United States as well. And Dada Lakshmi has created such a sensation around the world, and thanks to both of them to create such a beautiful landscape model for all the young artists and all the old artists or everybody around the world. And we all can get connected to Bollywood International Film Festival if they can send their entries to this competition which is going on. And I'm sure there is a deadline coming soon, so please go to the website Bollywood International Film Festival that Mumbai, and you can also send your entries through Film Freeway as well, and get connected. You never know, you will be the next winner for that show. And then for the movies and any type of movies you have, your movies of animation movie, your mobile movies, short movies, a documentary, feature films, song videos, any type of creation that you have done so far, you're all more than welcome to send it to the entries there too. And Nagnachi, I mean, first of all, I want to say that the name itself sounds so, kind of pleasing. Nagnath Mankeshwar. It becomes more like a, I don't know whether I should say that, but it's more like a religious syllable name that makes feel people something good musician, something related to that. This is my perspective, and I don't think so you should take that. But I think it's a really great. And I have a great honor to introduce to you for our audience of Bollywood International Film Festival. Let's talk that you had gone to meet Lata Mangeshkar ji, and I think you have made a beautiful portrait, live portrait of Lata Mangeshkar ji, and I think you were invited there by herself, and then you had gotten blessings from her. Would you share some light your experience and how it happened? How did it get to introduce there? So could you just share the little bit information about it to our audience of Bollywood International Film Festival?
Sure. Well, actually, I had, I was already showing my paintings in galleries and annual exhibitions and all that, and so some of my work was already being liked by people. And although I'm not a art school trained artist, I intrinsically I was like very good with portraits. And I my very first exhibition, before I even had made a portrait of the great Lataji, was portraits of classical musicians. I felt,
Okay.
now that I'm doing, I was doing music, and I was into music so much, so I said, it would be great if I could, because classical musicians are not that widely known everywhere as much as maybe Bollywood personalities and others. So and I have this love for them, and I done like a dozen portraits of some very renowned musicians, and I had done an exhibition, and some more people had come to love those portraits. And a friend of mine had seen my work, and he knew the Mangeshkar family. He knows them through his work,
Okay.
and he had kind of asked me if I could make a portrait of Lataji. He might be able to, get me invited to her residence, and maybe she would have a look at it, and maybe if she might bless me, or it was like a
Uh-huh.
far-fetched thing at that time.
Uh-huh.
And but I took it very seriously, and because she's my favorite singer, and
Wow.
she's so great, all the time. So I did one portrait, and he liked it. So we kind of he got permission to, for us to, this was 2018, I think. And she was not keeping well, but still we managed to go to her residence. And all three sisters were there, so it was a very scary thing for me to be able to present my portrait to Usha Mangeshkar ji, Meena Mangeshkar ji, and great Lata ji herself. Now I and sisters initially, we actually, I didn't get to meet Lata ji in person, because she was not well at all, and there was fear of infection. So nobody was actually going into her room. She was resting, but I had taken the portrait. Now both the sisters liked it, or rather approved of it, and so they said, now she's not well. Now, what do you want to do with this portrait? We can't keep it here. So I said, I want her to see it, and I want to know whether she liked it. So could you please? So Meena ji, she was gracious enough to take the. It was on paper, charcoal on paper. I had done a black and white portrait,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Okay.
and she said, okay, I understand your feelings, and I know you've come far to meet her. Unfortunately, she is not well, but I can still take the. I don't promise anything, but I'll take the portrait. So she went into her room and she took the portrait,
Wow.
and within a minute she comes running and she says, do you have a pen? I didn't
Oh.
have a pen. Can you imagine? Neither did my friend. So the maid in her house, she got one quickly, because she said by the time you get one, maybe she might start getting unrestful or something. So she took she took the pen, and out comes the paper from her room with this beautiful autograph. There were many works, and I was able to present mine, and a lot of people appreciated the fact that it had her autograph signature on it. So it
So
was
I have
a
a
great
wow.
tribute.
That's awesome. That is
Yeah,
some commendable. And I
yeah.
have a very specific question for you. I think many people, when they have any art, like a kala, sahitya, or culture, anything like that, they excel in one or the areas. But I see that you are in a both culture, both the art, which is your music and sitar playing, by the way, and charcoal art and painting, which is marvelous. I've seen quite a few of your charcoal, creations that really speaks up just like a live. I mean, sometimes personally I had to see it whether it's a real or it's like a actual made, and I had to zoom it, and I have to then I can figure it out. It's actually a portrait, real portrait. Things say, so how do you get those ideas or something? Because that has to be more passionate. So how do you kind of imagine things, and then just without colors, basically just by the color, black color charcoal, you create such a marvelous piece? Any information is good enough for our audience here.
Well, see, I started, like I said, I started out as an animator, as a 3D animator. People, 3D animation is a well-known industry,
Right.
and we were a production house based in Mumbai, in the town area, and we were one of the busiest production houses when we actually, the production house had already started. I joined in the mid 90s, and I still we still do projects which are like, I'm not like any full time operating person, but we still manage projects. So uh, being when you do advertising films, obviously you know about camera, you know about editing, you know about direction, you do. And it was not just an animation thing. I would go, and we would do a lot of shoots, test shoots, and I would assist the camera person, and we would come back with the short material, and I would edit it, color correct it. So I was doing everything that had to do with colors and compositions and lighting and everything. And when I started making my own films, obviously, I that was a great experience also, that I was able to shoot myself, or I would work with people, uh, my friends who were reputed cameramen. So I had this, I meaning, and as far as drawing and colors go, that's been a childhood thing for me. I've always painted, and my journals used to be probably the best. All those biology, zoology journals. You have to draw anything from a leaf to cockroach or whatever. When you do your zoology and botany, so drawing and shading and painting was always happening with me. And so those ideas am able to transfer on the canvas quite easily. It's not a very big effort for me. It comes quite naturally. And ideas, are all my film ideas. That's why I even write it, that I get my ideas from films and music. So basically, I'm a big fan of photography or cinematography. So any composition, I intrinsically am able to compose it to the best of my ability. I know what colors I like and what colors I'm not going to be using. So some of my paintings have limited colors, some of them are totally black and white, and I like a certain sense of composition or a subject matter or anything, even if it's a portrait, or it could be some idea. Which like now I'm working on a series now, so so each painting will be unique, but will have a very distinct look to it. So it's a natural thing for me. So it's just
Wow.
from camera to canvas is quite a natural thing. So that's how it happens.
This is such an amazing thing, is that? And I have met so many people around the world, and I have noticed one thing: people who have very very high talented people are always down to earth people, and you are one of them. And I can relate to Yashpal Sharma ji as well, Pratima Suman ji as well. What a remarkable couple they are! They have done such a remarkable job in creating a lot of outstanding job. They help people around the world, and Yashpal Sharma ji appreciates every one of us, everyone who works there. So I think it's just a God gifted things that people who are very, very talented have little art of, art of like more like a down to earth. That's another art, and people have that because I think you get all the blessings from every one of us. So and in fact, I think someday, one day, you will also make the portrait of Yashpal Sharma ji and Pratibha Suman ji. I think that will be
Sure.
more delightful thing for them too, as a thank you for them too. And again, it's this show, a Bollywood International Film Show, Let's Talk show, was only kind of being accomplished and also sponsored by the Yash Vidya Films and Light Rain Films and ATP Connections and all other companies that are involved into this group. And Pehel was the organization that Pratibha Sumanji had initiated, and to appreciate artists, and also the Film Freeway, that all people are involved into this, and then they appreciate and then basically collaboratively do the work. And so I have another few more questions. If you, I know you sing really well, and if you can sing some of the songs in the ragas that are very, very popular, and I'm sure you probably love Lata Mangeshkar and Madan Mohanji and Sahil Ludhanvi ji and all of these things. If you find any good combination of songs that you feel like you sing for our audience, will be greatly appreciated. And if I think would be delighted to have, because see, a lot of people know music, but they don't know really music, that these songs are made on ragas. So floor is yours, Nagnaji, and please.
I'll in fact one realize there was one incident, very see you don't one doesn't seek compliments, predictable compliments. That is one thing, but somehow, for an artist it's important that somehow his message goes across in a way. He might know about it, he knows that such a reaction might or might not come, but he certainly looks forward to something, and sometimes it goes beyond his expectations.
Certainly.
When I made this film on the great Ustad Abdul Halim Jafar Khan sahab, it was done as a kind of a two reeler, so it was almost like a 15, 20 odd minute film. And I remember I had put it up on YouTube, and this was far back, like long back. It was, I think, 2007 or 8 or something. And one of the first comments I got was someone asking me, "Do you play sitar?" Or um, you know, so he kind of implied that I'm a musician. So, and he there was no way for that person to know. He became very a good friend of mine, and we ended up discussing music for days, weeks, months, hours, to meaning, a long term friend. So I asked him, why did you ask me that question? Now this was interesting for me. So
Uh-huh.
he said, only a musician could have made a film like this, you
Wow.
know so you, somehow when you start doing, you're into any art, whether it's music or films or paintings, there's a certain idea that you want to get across. uh, and somehow, if he thought, and I was pleasantly surprised that the person is asking, or saying rather, very surely, that I had to be a musician to be able to make a film like that on another musician, because I liked that person in a certain way. That film was made in a certain way, shot in a certain way. It was not very, tightly scripted or anything like that. But these are the kind of reactions which one is encouraged by, and you kind of grow more confident about how you want to put yourself across. So
Wow. Wow.
so those kind of things, when they happen with my, or even with my painting, a person comes and stands. Now this person, I had made a painting. Again, it was in black and white, of Lord Shiva holding the Rudraveena. Rudraveena is, they say, is Lord Shiva's instrument, and he's holding it's on his shoulder, the way it is normally held. And a person came and stood in front of it for 15 minutes, and I was looking at that person, and I said, meaning it's okay beyond the basic fact that he might have liked it. I said, what is it like? So he says, no, this instrument and Lord Shiva, the way it's been composed and done, um, made me look at it for so long, and it's fascinating. And that person was not into any classical or any kind of music, but he said he had visited Rishikesh, and he had found himself free for a couple of days when he was looking around the city, and there was some Drupad festival happening, Drupad
Okay.
music festival in Rishikesh somewhere. And the first day he went and apparently heard it, and it was not to his taste. Suddenly you cannot like that. Second day, but it pulled him enough on the second day, and on the probably the third day or something, to get a connect. So when he saw the Rudraveena, he said, I want you to tell me something about the instrument and about Drupad music. Now today, I'm not connected with him after that, but maybe today he is listening more to classical music,
Yeah.
and that Ravina and the Lord Shiva's portrait, the
Hmm.
whole thing came across. So these things are very delightful surprises for an artist. That
Wow.
somehow
That's
is
so
not
awesome.
not just the painting, but the music got to him, and the
Certainly.
instrument found fascination with him. Someone who is not he's not some Rishikesh resident or something. He's like, a very city head boy, but somehow, it got a connect to a very remote, a very, very ancient art. So that's like the
Wow.
best.
So see here, you just gave the example of that how people can connect. So all it
Yes,
is igniting a sense of kind of inspiration. There are some invisible inspirations that people don't know that can click
yes,
on it. For example, for
yes.
me, I've never had thought of that I'll be a lyricist, but Lord, right from my childhood, I became watching Sahil
Started writing.
Ludhianvi and Jagjit Singh and Chitra Singh, and I don't claim to be, but I think it's just a great idea to do that, and I'm very delighted for that. Before we end the show, I like to hear some good songs from you. I mean, you can pick any good full song. I mean, if you don't want to play sitar, that is fine, but you can sing just like that if you want, and we can have both
I
if you want to.
I think I have one song which is Mukesh Ji's song,
Okay,
which I meaning I've played also, but yeah, one second.
ready to hear from you. तो नागनाथ मानकेश्वर जी अभी हमें सुनाने वाले हैं बहुत खूबसूरत सा गाना। और फिर मैं आप लोगों को फिर से याद दिला देती हूँ, बॉलीवुड इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल हैज completed its fourth year, and it is a year that we all will be coming into Bollywood International Film Festival. If you can send your entries are still acceptable, And please contact Bollywood International Film Festival. You can send your entries by Film Free as well. And again, if you are really, really good, interested in your creation that you have created so far, you always can send to Bollywood International Film Festival, and and you may get any award. You have never no idea. I know, I'm sure you probably are talented. So back to Nagnath Mankeshwar ji, and we're ready to hear from you.
I'll
And
I'll just sing a couple of lines. Beautiful. It's no more like a Bhairavi composition,
thank you.
and I'm sure you like you've heard the song many times.
Sure.
सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, तुम्हारे प्यार की बातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, सुहानी चांद रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, तुम्हारी रेशमी जुल्फों में दिल के फूल खिलते हैं, कहीं फूलों के मौसम में कभी हम तुम भी मिलते हैं, सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, तुम्हारे प्यार की बातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
a
That's beautifully beautiful song. So कहते हैं ना.
I'm not a singer. I'm just I just it's just that my music teacher always insists that you have to sing to be able to reproduce it on your
Certainly,
instrument.
yes. And I'm sure, I think I heard some of those S.D. Burman's singing also. And, Kahe ko roye, sapal hogi teri aradhana. And he actually sang, and there was recordings available there too. And so he was a singer. I mean, saying that singer, but I think you're very right. It doesn't really have to be and I'm sure you're a passionate, musician. And before we end this show, I just wanted to find out from you is that what is your major dream now? Because since you have achieved a lot of accomplishments, and I'm sure have you passed this thing to your new generations, your children or your students, and how people are connected to you through your music, and I'm sure you're probably currently teaching your students around the world and
Yes,
teaching
I
art and
do
painting
teach.
and music. And so please explain something about that. How are you passing on this generational traditional of arts that you have to the next generation, and to who?
I do teach. I have been very fortunate to receive so much love and affection and a lot of musical knowledge that my teacher has so kindly passed on to me. It's something that I carry with myself every day, and like I said, each musical school of thought, like his gharana or anything, so they have done this kind of research. He himself is a fifth generation instrumentalist. Now, you can imagine the kind of research of the last 100 odd years that has come to me, and if he's sharing that knowledge with me and I'm able to carry it, it will be my pleasure, and it will be my uh, good fortune to be able to teach and pass it on, because I love it so much. something I love, and if I see that there is another person who loves it as much and is able to grasp it over a period of time, and so I most willingly teach those things. And music is something that needs to be shared to be able to, for you to learn more and to be a better person, so I do teach, yes.
Oh,
And it goes in a very traditional way. It's if it's in my city, obviously, we try to do as many live one-on-one sessions. But even like when we get phone calls from other cities, from India or abroad, I teach online as well.
wow.
Sitar is a difficult instrument, so once, like for someone who's abroad as who's not touched the instrument, it's not easy because you have to learn some intricacies. But yes, it's a pleasure always to be able to connect with students all over
That is
in
so
whatever.
amazing, certainly, absolutely. I think, just जैसे आपने कहा, सुहानी चांदनी रातें हमें सोने नहीं देती, लेकिन आपकी जो प्यारी प्यारी बातें हमें जाने नहीं दे रही हैं। लेकिन बात तो सिर्फ यही है कि अभी हमें इस चीजों से विदा लेना होगा. We probably have to depart very soon,
Yes,
and I'm sure you probably have enjoyed this show, and it was a great honor for
absolutely.
us to. And
It
would you
was a
like to say
it was a
anything about?
pleasure. It was a pleasure for me to interact with you. I think it's been like we've known each other for so many years now,
Yeah.
and the common subjects are music and arts and
Yes. Yes.
all that.
So
So it's always a connection, good connection to be able to talk
absolutely,
to people.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I like to have you something say anything, Bird, about Bollywood International Film Festival, and if you have any messages for them, and I like to thank them as well. So I think last words from you is that for Bollywood International Film Festival, if you have any messages, anything for them.
Well, apart from the fact that it was a great, memory. It was a great thing for me to be able to connect with Bollywood International. My It's not a mess. Something that we intrinsically share is that keep up with listening to good music, promote it as best as you can, whether it's music or arts or good films, and they always need your support. And however best, in whatever best way you can. Uh, so may the best always win. How much ever it's a never ending task, but promoting good music, good art or good films is something that I hope everyone does, and we are all in it together. And let's keep connecting so that any thoughts that need to be shared from either side should keep happening. The conversation, the dialogue should always be happening, so that things get better and better. That's it. So
Absolutely. And I think you are very, very good at it because Yashpal Sharma ji and Pratibha Suman Sharma ji, they both have created such a great, marvelous platform for Bollywood International
yeah,
Film Festival.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they are basically are not only promoting the artists, but they themselves work very hard, very hard. So I'm sure people who are working around this area, and I think they should get in connection with them as well. And
Yes,
they see, if they see, everybody shifts, shines and rises when people go work together as a collaboration and as a in cooperation with everybody. So I would definitely encourage all the audience who are listening to us right now is that they always can send their entries to Bollywood International Film Festival and get it evaluated by their elite team of experts in there. So in नागनाथ मानकेश्वर जी, कहते हैं ना कि जाने का विदा लेने का वक्त तो आ ही गया है. But again, just wanted to give you so much of blessings and thanks to you. And
thank you,
again,
thank you.
it is a great pleasure and honor to be around here with you and representing Let's Talk show of Bollywood International Film Festival. So thank you so much, and thank
Thank
you our
you.
audience for giving us opportunity to working with that. And
Thank you,
have,
Pratibhaji. Thank you for
have
a
a
wonderful
great,
evening.
certainly,
Great talk.
absolutely. And you know what? This is today is a Diwali day, Deepavali day. Happy Diwali to
Happy
everyone.
Diwali to you and
And
to
शुभ
all the
दीपावली
audience
to
here.
everybody, और आप सबकी मनोकामनाएं पूरी हों और सबकी अच्छी
Yes,
अच्छी चीजें हों. बहुत बहुत
yes,
खुशी
absolutely.
और thank you so much.
Thank you
Great
so.
blessings.
Thank you so.